Can I start now?
This meeting is being recorded.
Yeah.
Yes,
Good
ma'am. Please
afternoon,
start.
everyone.
Yes,
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Adira Essa, guest faculty at PCR CHEMBUR. I'm happy to welcome all of you for the Day 5 of Faculty Enrichment Program on concerns of academic research in social sciences. So the topic for today's session is data analysis. To provide more insights on data analysis, we have with us Dr. Ajith Kumar C. It is my honor and privilege to introduce Dr. Ajith Kumar sir. So Dr. Ajith Kumar C has been serving as Assistant Professor, Stage 2 in the School of Education, IGNOU, New Delhi since 2011. He has completed M.Ed in Science Education from Mahatma Gandhi University, Kerala, MSc Physics and MPhil Education from Calicut University, and PGDDE IGNOU from IGNOU, New Delhi, and PhD from AIASC, New Delhi. He started his career as higher secondary teacher in physics, later shifted to teacher training and has more than 16 years of experience in teaching. He has published, edited books, research papers, and articles in national and international journals, and written units for ODL institutions. He has presented papers in various seminars and conferences. He has delivered expert talks in national and international seminars and also acted as resource person in various workshops. Also, he has contributed various lectures for MOOC programs, developed e-content for various courses, and delivered more than 70 live lectures through radio and television. His areas of interest and educational technology, statistics in research, science education, teacher education, and open distance learning. At present, he is one of the coordinators of the postgraduate diploma in educational technology and coordinator of postgraduate certificate in adult education program offered by School of Education, IGNOU. Also, he is offering a MOOC program, Selection and Integration of Technology in Educational Processes in the same platform of Government of India. So today, Sir will be speaking on the topic data analysis. Sir, we are very truly honored to have you addressing us. So now I would like to call upon Dr. Ajith Kumar sir to deliver the talk.
Thank you, madam. Welcome, participants. I would like to express my gratitude to the institutions involved and Dr. Nasir Ali for inviting me to this platform. Sunday, I am feeling very happy. There is a huge number of participants on board. So let us try to learn the SPSS today and the statistics which is done with the help of SPSS. Maybe at the outset, I would say, I mean, like statistics is something, it takes too much time to learn that way. Maybe if you relate with a semester pattern, it can be one semester course. So we are cut shorting that one semester entire statistics into 2-3 hours, 4 hours maximum lecture. So that difficulty will be there on my part, on your part also to digest the things which we are going to discuss today and tomorrow. But let us see how far we can go ahead. I would like to move with the pace, and we'll try to complete as far as possible. It includes the SPSS package, includes the basics as per your schedule. Then moving on to the parametric test, t-test, ANOVA, correlation, regression. Maybe there are various counterparts for parametric tests also, the non-parametric test. If time permits, we'll also see some of the non-parametric test. Then we also do in research the tool standardization. So some of the statistics which we do in tool standardization, that can also be done with the help of statistics. But I'm not very sure how much we will cover. This is my pattern. This is how I would like to move ahead today and tomorrow. Now, I have already given intimation to Dr. Nasirji for downloading that software package. I hope you have downloaded that package. I hope. Otherwise, I will also give you some time during my presentation just to practice. So one thing, it's good if you can make use of your laptop or desktop to attend this session. Mobile, you can simply listen, watch this session. Otherwise, you will not be, getting time to practice. You will not.
Sir, you are on mute.
Yeah, no, there was some message. Okay. So I am audible now.
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you. So what I am going to do is I'll start with the SPSS package on and off. I'll be shifting to some theories, which is very much required for understanding the statistics, which we are going to complete, which we are going to discuss today. Okay. I'm sharing my screen. Let me. Yeah, the screen is visible. Somebody, please.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Sir. So the package now it is a 29th version something. Okay, IBM SPSS package. I have shared that website also. Even otherwise, you will easily get it from the Google search. Okay, IBM SPSS software. The first one will be mostly the SPSS software package. That website you will get IBM. It was. It's available on the internet also that way. So you can download that software and you can use it for 45 days. So this is one, one thing which you can follow that way to get this software. Otherwise, this software is little costly that way. So those who want to purchase, the pricing details are available on the same website. You can have a check and download that and pay and get the software. One thing, okay. Otherwise, this is one shortcut method, but it's not advisable that way to, tell. But again, since it is a costly software, maybe you can follow this approach also. You have an email ID, go to the IBM software, download it and get a sign up account, sign up, get your account and start using it for 45 days. After 45 days, they will ask you for money. Then you have to pay. Otherwise, the next option is you create another email account, then maybe the second time you can download and use it. Okay. Otherwise, you have to buy that software. Now, this is the look and feel. Maybe a little bit difference will be there, since if you are using the software which I was giving you yesterday, little bit difference will be there. What I am using is IBM SPSS software version 22.
Sir, the audience are not able to hear you properly. The volume is quite low.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Yes. Better now, sir. Yes.
Okay. So this is the look and feel of the software when you open this software for the first time. When you open this for the first time, you download and open that. So this is how it will look like for you. Okay. This we will not do anything. There can be, we can have some, we can do something here, but for the time being, I'm just closing this. Okay. Canceling. I'm just canceling this. I think my this mouse pointer is visible. Okay. I'm just going to cancel this. Okay. So now this is going to get, you will get this kind of a, why this is admit. I will admit them. Okay. So this is how it is going to look now. Just like any other software, we have this file, edit, view, data, transform, analyze, direct marketing, graphs, utilities, add-ons, window, help. Okay. You go to window, help. Then there are, descriptions, procedures, how you can work with this software. Okay. Those who are finding difficult, they can also get help from this icon. Okay. Help. Otherwise, file edit just like the way we see in what we say Microsoft Word, any other software, okay, PowerPoint and all. We have seen all these, okay. Now, there are two views that way, okay. एक तो data view है, दूसरा variable view, है ना. Two views you will get. One data view, the other variable view. We can just toggle from one view to the other view. This is variable view. So you can just see how the, I mean, like interface toggling from one view to the other view. Keep on doing, okay, no issue. Variable view, data view. So variable is something which we work on, which we do the research, variable, academic achievement, many other variables, okay, social, scientific aptitude, reasoning, intelligence, teaching competency, attitude towards something. So they are variables that way, variable view. So then variable view is a place, an interface which you can use for entering the variables, variable view. Data view, as the name suggests, this is for entering the data, okay. So I'm just clicking on the variable view, okay. Now, the first column is asking for the name of the variable, okay. So I'll just click here. Now, you can click at any point, okay. Any point, see something new, something coming up, okay. So at some point, so you can click at any point, it will keep on, something new will come, okay. So for the time being, I'm just clicking on the first row behind this names, okay. So this is the place where we will enter the variable, okay. So I'm just going to double click here, then your mouse cursor will be activated. I'm just going to enter one variable, like gender. Gender is one variable, okay. Gender, it keeps on changing, male, female, transgenders and all, okay. Gender. So I just entered with my, what we said, the keyboard, gender. Now after doing that, I will just press my enter button in the keyboard, enter button, okay. So I'm just going to click the enter button. See how it is going to change. Once the enter button is clicked, many of these things will be by default, by default the SPSS will fill for you. We don't have to fill anything for the time being, okay. Once I am clicking the enter button in my keyboard, these rest of the columns will be by default SPSS will fill for you. So I'm just here, I'm going to click my enter button. See, I just clicked on my enter button. So you can see many things are by default coming up, many things, okay. I'm going to enter another variable, locale. Maybe these are some of the popular, commonly used demographic variables. Locale, I'm going to click on the enter button. See, by default it is coming. Maybe intelligence, click enter button, okay. So many things by default it is, by default SPSS is filling the details, okay. Now SPSS is a software which works on the number data. Mostly statistics we can do on quantitative data only, numbers. So that's why by default it is coming numbers, yeah, numeric. Now if you click somewhere here, see at the end of this column, I'll just cancel this. See, there is some 3-4 dots here. The same way, if you click here, that will come again. You click here, again some dialog box will come, okay. So if you want to change that, you can change. Otherwise, mostly by default we work on quantitative data. So that's why it is numeric. If you want to enter the name of the students, name, that is, text data, name, any name you can. So in that case, we usually use a string, but usually we don't go to that extent. But if you want, you can enter the name also. In that case, you have to click on string. Otherwise, most of the data is in number format, numeric format, okay. Now, gender, the width of the variable, width. Gender usually we give 1, 2, 3. These are the numbers which we usually give for genders, okay. It is up to you what number you have to give. It is up to you. Normally 1, 2, 3, 1 for male, 2 for female. They also people sometimes use the alphabetic order. If that is the case, then female takes the number 1, female. If you are male, female in alphabetic order. Female, we will give number 2. Otherwise, 1 male, 2 female. Okay. Now, 1 is having only 1 digit. 1. Okay. If you are giving 12, 1, 2 for male, then the width is 2. There are 2 digits. 2 digits. If you are giving 1, 2, 3 for male, 3, 4, 5, 6 for female, then the digits in that numbers will be 3. So the width will be then 3. Okay. By default, SPSS is having 8 width data, 8 width data. This you can change absolutely. See, when the name comes, Ramakrishna, and say, for example, Ramakrishna, it is having more than 8 digits. Okay. So in that case, you have to increase this. So by clicking here, you can increase that. Otherwise, by default, see, there are 2 triangles coming to make it, you can increase and decrease. Okay. Otherwise, by default, it is 8. No issue. We don't have to do anything. Okay. Then decimals, like if male is 1, it is only 1 decimal. If you are having some numbers like 10.2, then there is 1 decimal point. If the number is 10.34, 10.34, there are 2 decimals. So by default, again, SPSS is giving 2 decimals. Again, you have the option to change that. Okay. You keep on changing that, because in some very finite researchers like science and science subject, they work on very finite decimals. Okay. So in that case, they keep it like whatever decimals they have. Okay. So 2 by default, it is 2. Now, as I said, gender, we used to give 1, 2, and 0. So we don't want to have some decimals here. So I'll just make it 0. Okay. Here also local 0. Intelligence also, we don't usually in social sciences, we are not very much concerned about the decibels. Okay. This is abstract ideas. In social science, we don't have that much very particular decimal point system in social science. So I will make it all the decimals into 0. Okay. Label. Now here there are some, like points which you need to consider. Okay, you cannot enter a big name here for your variable. That has to be very short. Okay. Now gender, you are working on the 10th class student. So I'll be writing here. This is the place to enter the variables in detail. Label of your gender. Gender of the students. You cannot have this kind of space when you are entering the variable. So here you can have anything. Gender of the students of 10th class students. 10th class. Gender of the students of 10th class. Okay. Intelligence of students measured on whatever scale. Yeah, anything you can write. What is intelligence in your study? So here you can keep on writing, which is not mandatory. Gender. Next is values. Here values. Again, click here. So when you click here, see something, a new dialog box will come. Values. So I'll just keep here. Values 1, usually for male. So I'll just put value 1, male. Okay. Then I'll click on add. We have to add that. Okay. So this will come to this dialog, small box. Now the next value we can add 2. Then female, add. If you have transgender, 3, transgender. Okay. Add. Keep on adding. Okay. So you can see we have given some values just to recognize what we mean by 1, 2, and all. Okay. Now this I'm not going to discuss. If you have some 500 data, there are many missing values in your, during data collection, you will miss many values. This is a little time consuming process to explain this missing. Okay. So for the time being, I'm not going to discuss that missing. So little time consuming procedure. Okay. Columns also, just to increase the width of this column. Okay. If you want this kind of a size, then you can increase this number, which is not very that way mandatory. This is just like the way in Excel to align the numbers, okay, left center, which is not very mandatory that way. Okay. Now this is very important with regard to SPSS. Now the measure, it is written measure, scales of measurement. You can relate that to scales of measurement. Okay. Now we have majorly four scales of measurement. One is the nominal, the other is ordinal, third is interval, and the fourth is ratio scale. So in SPSS, we will not have all those four as the name suggests. Okay. Nominal, ordinal, scale, nominal, ordinal we have. If you click here, you will get nominal, ordinal, nominal, ordinal. Now, after ordinal, it is interval, and after interval, it is ratio scale of measurement. For interval and ratio scale of measurement, it is written scale variable. Okay, so you will not find. Yes.
Sir, sorry to interrupt, but there are some people who are saying that the volume is too low.
Too low.
Yeah,
Okay.
now it's better.
Okay, I'll catch like this again. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Scale, nominal, ordinals, and scale variable. So nominal as the name, I mean, like we know, I'll also give some idea about the nominal, ordinal. Okay. But in SPSS, see it, the scales of measurement starts with the nominal scale, then ordinal scale, then interval and ratio. So for interval and ratio in SPSS, it is written scale. You will not find anything like interval and ratio. In place of that, you will see only scale. So this is the place, this is the option which you have to use to mention what kind of a variable it is. The variable gender, whether it is nominal, ordinal, or scale, local, and intelligence, what kind of a variable it is. So we have to select accordingly from here. Okay. Now, in research, you might have seen like independent variables are, dependent variables are there. Sometimes we also call it is target variables, outcome variable, and all. Okay. So this also we will not be, for the time being, we will not be worried much. Okay. This is to mention what kind of a variable gender is. Okay. So for the time being, we will skip this also. So some of the columns I am just deliberately skipping, which is not very much required for the statistics, but it is absolutely required also that way. Okay. We will learn at some other point. Some columns which are important, like the variable column, type is very much required, values are required, and measure it is very much required. So 4 columns are that way very much required. Otherwise, for the time being, we will skip rest of the things. We don't have to worry much about on that. Okay. So we have this variable for, see, gender, I'll just put it like nominal, local, I'll put it again nominal, intelligence is an interval scale, so I'll put it as scale. So we have done this. Okay. So we have entered the variables now, variable gender, local, and intelligence. Now we will go to the data view and we will fill the data. We will fill the data. Oh, many messages. Very low. Okay. Okay. We'll go. I was here in variable view. I'll click on data view. Okay. So you can see gender, local, intelligence. These are the variables which we have entered. Okay. Intelligence. I'll come to data view. Okay. Now we will keep on entering the data. Okay. I was saying 1, 2, we used to give that 1. 1. So you keep on adding data here. 1, 1. The first respondent is, second respondent is male, third respondent is male, 10th respondent is female. So I'll give 2. Keep on adding by using my keyboard. Okay. Just clear this. Okay. 2. Some data we have filled. Okay. 2. Now local also 1, 2. Another variable by default. I don't know. I'll just clear this also. Okay. Data view. Local the same way. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you keep on adding your variables. Okay. Jitna bhi aapka data hai, if you have 500 data, you have to fill the entire data here. Just the way we do, we enter data in your Excel sheet. Okay. Just the way we do, and we enter data in your Excel or whatever kind of software. Same way, intelligence also you keep on adding 58, 56, 44, 47, any number you can add. Keep on adding using a keyboard. Okay, keep on adding. Okay, you can copy and paste also that way we do in. Okay, here also you can copy paste that. Copy, paste, copy. So take a little more from here. Copy. I'll just fill up to 30. Okay. Copy. Paste. Paste. Just 33. Copy. One, two, four. So I have filled 33 data now. Okay. So this is one way of doing entering data in SPSS. Okay. One way. The second way is if you have filled data in your Excel sheet, you can also import that data from your SPSS sheet. Okay, I'll click on this file. Okay, I'll open another data sheet. Okay, file, open data. I'll take data from my computer where it is stored. So this is the interface you will get. See, I have some files here in Excel, okay, which is not for the time being, it's not available here. This is because it is files of type here, it is showing SPSS statistics. So I have to change this. I'll select Excel from here. So all the Excel sheets will be appearing here. Now I'll take any of this data, say for example, data set 2, open. See, this kind of a data dialog box you will get. Now there are many sheets in my Excel sheet. Okay, survey, FA, regression, experiment. So it is asking for which file you have to import. So I'm selecting only this sheet, survey. I'll select this. Okay. See, now it is coming in a new Excel sheet. You can see this is untitled one. This was our first file where we have entered data manually. You can see the second file untitled 2. We have not given any title file name to this data file. Okay. So this is untitled 2. This is the data file just now I have exported. So you can see the number of variables and the data which is having in a SPSS. So it's not that way. In research, we have a huge amount of data. Okay, gender, management, locale, subject, occupation. Question 1, this is a Likert scale data, question 1 to question 8. And this is the dimension related to these 8 questions. You can see the same kind of a patterning till maybe 58. Now 58. The Likert scale is having 48 questions. Then there is a teaching competency score, intelligence score. And we have to see all these kind of what we say columns, and we have to make sure this is properly entered. Okay. Here it is with 12, you can reduce that. Columns, this also you can measure. You have to be very careful. I mean, like gender is an input. Sometimes it is an output variable also. For the time being, we are not working on that. We are also not working on the missing data. So this is a data file which is having huge many number of variables. Okay, done. I'll just come to the PowerPoint presentation. Then we will work on that. Okay. So again, identification of the problem, select variable, state objectives, research question, formulation of hypothesis. This is an optional step. Why? Because in qualitative studies, we don't usually formulate hypothesis. Okay. So first identification of the problem or variable we have, then we will write the title, we will write objectives or research questions. Then we will write the hypothesis. Then we will do the data collection, data analysis. Done very simple that way. Okay. Now, what is this hypothesis testing? Now, this is the place where we will make use of what we call the SPSS package. Okay. So we need to understand this just to get idea about the SPSS and some of the terms which will usually come when we work on the SPSS package. Okay. So SPSS we usually use for the hypothesis testing. Now we need to understand hypothesis, types of hypothesis, level of significance, p-value. This will on and off. In most of the statistics, you will find all these terms. Okay, all these terms like level of significance, p-value, acceptance and rejection region, critical value, critical region, one-tailed test, degrees of freedom, parametric, non-parametric, type 1, type 2, descriptive and inferential statistics. Will not be taking the entire, we will not be discussing the entire things. Okay. क्या होता है to test whether a null hypothesis can be rejected or not rejected. This is the term which we use, whether we can reject or whether we will fail to reject a null hypothesis. Okay, purpose. So the purpose of our hypothesis testing is to check whether we can reject or whether we will not reject the hypothesis. Okay. Now, how that is done? I mean, like, we have the entire process like hypothesis formulation, state your hypothesis, then data collection, select the statistical test, parametric or non-parametric, you set your level of significance, calculate the p-value and make a conclusion on the statistics that you have done. Okay. Hypothesis is something which is a tentative kind of a solution, tentative statement. I mean, like, you see, if you take a medicine, whether it will lower your temperature or it will increase the temperature. I'm making just an hypothesis, like, for example, if I take so and so medicine, whether my temperature will come down or temperature will go up. Okay, we will make that hypothesis a statement. Okay, now that statement remains as a statement till it is proved. Okay, till it is proved. Now what happens in social sciences? In sciences we have laboratories to test the hypothesis that we make. In science subjects we have laboratories. Okay, but in social sciences we don't have that way laboratories to test the hypothesis. Laboratories. It is okay. Difficult to see. Okay, friends, in science, we don't have that way labs to test our hypothesis. In sciences, in social science subjects like education, management, psychology, we don't have that way labs to test our hypothesis. So what we do, we depend upon the statistical methods, statistics. So this is why we are making use of the statistics in hypothesis testing in social science subject. Now, when you formulate any hypothesis, these are the hypotheses that we usually formulate. One is going to be the null hypothesis. Why it is formed? आप थोड़ा सोच लेना उसके ऊपर. Why? There are various reasons for why a null hypothesis is formulated in research studies. This is left to you. Okay, I have the answer for that. For the time being, I am not discussing. But usually it is null hypothesis. It is formulated in research studies. So when you formulate any hypothesis in the research study, it is always better to start with the null hypothesis. Now what happens when null hypothesis is formulated? By default, it follows the alternate hypothesis. But in most of the theses, we will not be seeing the alternate hypothesis. By default, it is there, alternate hypothesis. Like, say, for example, there is no effect of intelligence on exam mark. This is a hypothesis. There is no effect of intelligence. Like there is no effect of intelligence on exam. Okay, this is the null hypothesis that we formulate. Now, by default, alternate hypothesis is hypothesis follows that, which says there is an effect of intelligence on exam mark, or the intelligence improves the exam mark if it is a directional hypothesis. So we formulate this null hypothesis, and this is what we usually test with the help of SPSS and statistics, the null hypothesis. And we will make conclusions like whether we can reject this hypothesis or whether we will not reject this null hypothesis. We will not use the word accept, because there are again various reasons for not using that word accept. Okay, just you can explore why we don't use the word accept in research. Okay, so null hypothesis we have in research, and we will test with the help of statistics. One, okay. Now there are many like tests of significance, or we call it as significance test. There are many methods through which the significance can be tested. Okay, these tests are known as a significance test. What is that word significance refer to? Okay, we keep on using this word. There is no significant difference. No, significant. This means that this is not by chance. We are getting the result not because of any chance. This is true. This result is true. So just to indicate that this is not by any chance, we use the word significant. It is mandatory to use that word in your research hypothesis. Okay, there is no significant effect of intelligence. There is no significant effect of intelligence. There is no significant relationship between teaching competency and academic achievement. So we use that word significance. Okay, now देखिए जैसा हमारे जो जितना भी एग्जाम्स होता है, जो हमारे जो स्कूल में हायर एजुकेशन में 100, most of the time 100 it is the limit, upper limit. Okay, 0 to 100 limit. Okay, 100 is the maximum mark we use. Okay, it can vary from places to place, universities to university, institutions to institution. Okay, now we have two things like a passing category and a failing category. We will announce like a student has passed the examination, a student has failed the examination. How we will make that judgment? We will fix some point, and depending upon that point, we will put some students in the fail category, we will put some students in the pass category. So we have a point which would help us to make that demarcation. We have a point. The same way you can just correlate this with your testing hypothesis. In testing hypothesis, I said we will make the conclusion like we will reject or we will not reject the hypothesis, just the way making students pass and fail in an examination. The same way, pass and fail in an examination, in hypothesis we will take like rejecting, not rejecting a hypothesis. In exams we have a point which would help us to decide whether to make them pass or fail. Okay, in the same way, in hypothesis testing we have a point which would help us to take a decision on whether we have to reject or not reject the hypothesis. And that point is called sometimes the level of significance or p-value, okay, level of significance. You can have various kinds of explanation to this. See how confident you can be about rejecting the null hypothesis. Criteria or threshold value based on which one can reject the null hypothesis or fail to reject the null hypothesis. Okay. So keep on searching that. Okay, level of significance. Again, p-value again the same. Okay, the value which would help us to take a decision on the hypothesis that we have selected, whether to reject or whether we will fail to reject the hypothesis. Okay, you don't have to worry about the number of points which are listed on the PowerPoint presentation. This I'll share with you after my class. Okay, so don't worry about writing down the points. You will get this PowerPoint. Okay, so friends, एक तो level of significance हो गया, एक तो p value हो गया. Okay, p value. Now देखिए hypothesis testing में क्या होता है? Hypothesis you will formulate This is going to be a null hypothesis in your study. You will collect the data. Now, statistical test, you will decide which you will perform, which you will do on your collected data. Now, once you do that, you will also parallelly set the level of significance. This is what I was saying, level of significance and a level of significance. So usually in social science research, we will set the level of significance as 0.05. Level of significance is 0.05 and a 0.05. In science and all, we will set it as very precise, which is 0.05. This is, where is this? Just a second. Take another PowerPoint presentation. Just for that later. So we have the level of significance and p-value, okay, p-value. In SPSS, you will get this p-value, okay. You don't have to manually calculate. P-value you will get, p-value. Level of significance, we will select which is going to be the level of significance. You can change the level of significance that way, okay. Now, very important slide. Maybe this you can note down for the time being, okay. Very important. This is what we use in our research test when we test the hypothesis, okay. Level of significance. As I said, take a level of significance. As I said, p-value, the SPSS will give you p-value. Now, there are two situations, p-value. When the p-value is less than the significance level, as I said, in social science research, usually we take 0.05 because utna precision humko nahi chahiye. Even otherwise achievement, intelligence, we cannot, very precisely measure these values. It's very difficult to precisely measure this. The way when we go to the market, we buy, when you buy the gold and all, it is very precise. Every gram matters when we, buy the gold. But in social science research, none of the variables are not that way very much precise. Like your intelligence, reasoning aptitude, attitude towards something, they are not very precise. So that's why we use the 0.05 level of significance. Now, देखिए आप when आप जो SPSS में statistics when you are doing, आपको p value मिलेगा, p value. That you will compare with your significance level 0.05, okay. देखिए p value when it is less than significance level, when it is less than the significance level, we call it as significant. The result is significant. Very important, okay. When it is significant, what we will do when drawing the conclusion, we will reject the null hypothesis. We will reject the null hypothesis. When the p-value is less than the significance level, it is said to be significant, we will reject the null hypothesis. In most of the statistics, this slide is going to be used, okay. So just if you can note down this in very simple terms, how you are going to make a decision on your research data, okay friends. So saying देखिए इधर reject the null hypothesis, हम बोल रहे reject null hypothesis. तो हमारा null hypothesis क्या? There is no significant difference in the test scores of male and female. This was the null hypothesis we have formulated. There is no significant difference in test scores of male and female. Okay. जो test score male and female का test score में there is no difference. Okay. We will reject this null hypothesis. So parallelly, alternatively, then what is going to be the conclusion? There is significant difference in the test score of male and female. There is significant difference in test score of male and female. Okay. So let me repeat that. देखिए p value when it is less than significance level, it is said to be significant, and the conclusion will be we are going to reject the null hypothesis. This was the null hypothesis, which was saying there is no difference between intelligence of male and female. There is no difference between attitude towards SPSS, male and female. We are going to reject all those hypotheses. Then our conclusion will be there is significant difference in the whatever variable we have and whatever what we say the categorical variables we have. Okay, p value. Now दूसरा कंडीशन होगा, I was saying जैसे if it is 100 mark, those who score less than 30, 35, they are considered to be fail. Those who score more than 35, they are considered to be pass. Just the way here it is level of significance. But see the terminology is used in research. See p value when it is greater than the significance level, we will say this is not significant. We will fail to reject the null hypothesis. This is the conclusion. We will not reject the null hypothesis. इसका क्या मतलब है? हमारा जो null hypothesis था, there is no significant difference. So we will not reject that. We will retain that hypothesis. Okay. So we will retain there is no significant difference in test scores of male and female. Okay, friends. Two cases very important. देखिए आप एक और बार इसको ध्यान से देखना होगा. p वैल्यू लेस देन सिग्निफिकेंस लेवल, इसको हम सिग्निफिकेंस बोलता है. रिजेक्ट नल हाइपोथेसिस, हमारा जो नल हाइपोथेसिस था उसको हम रिजेक्ट करेंगे. देन उसका रिजल्ट होगा इट विल से देयर इज अ डिफरेंस इन द स्कोर्स ऑफ मेल एंड फीमेल और व्हाटएवर वेरिएबल. दूसरा p वैल्यू ग्रेटर होगा, then we will not reject the null hypothesis. This is very easy to understand. देखिए p value greater than the significance level, we will not reject the hypothesis. We will not reject. We will retain the null hypothesis. ठीक है. देखिए sometimes in SPSS you will find this kind of a symbol. Now when it is significant, at 0.05, this is what I was saying. When p is less than 0.05, it is statistically significant at the 5% level. तो उसको कभी कभी SPSS एक स्टार मार्क देता है, स्टार मार्क. So when you see a star mark, you have to see that, you have to understand that this is significant at the 0.05 level. Social science में हम यही वैल्यू देखते हैं. Sometimes in sciences, and if you want more precision, you can go to p less than 0.05. That time आपको 2 स्टार मिलेगा. If you go beyond that, आपको बहुत precision चाहिए होगा तो 0.001 आपको लेना होगा. In that case, you will get triple star. ठीक है. देखिए इसका थोड़ा बहुत हम ऐसे भी बोलते हैं, है ना, this way. लेवल ऑफ सिग्निफिकेंस इज 0.05. आप इसको परसेंटेज में कन्वर्ट कीजिए. 0.05 into 100 तो 5% होगा. 5% है ना, 5%. देखिए 95% you are sure that your results are true. This is not because of any chance. This is what I was saying of confidence level of significance. 0.05 level of significance क्या होता है? If it is 0.05 level of significance, if you are converting that to percentage, you will get 5% out of 100. When you deduct 5%, फिर आपको 95% मिलेगा. 95%, which we call a level of confidence, which means आप 95% आपको sure है your results are okay. This is not because of any chance. But again, see, if 95% ही है, we have to reach 100%. So 5% chances है to have a incorrect results or some, what we say, it can be 5% error. 95% we are sure our results are okay, but 5% we are not very sure. So that 5%, it is something related to the type 1, type 2 error. Okay, type 1, type 2, which I am not going to introduce right now. Okay, थोड़ा बहुत आप देख लेना. This is how it is described. Okay, 95% sure. Okay, 5% we always give to chance. 5% we always give to chance. Okay, we are not very sure. 95% it's okay in social sciences. Okay, in science 99% होना चाहिए. 99. Okay, 99%. 99%. तो थोड़ा बहुत उसका तो देखिए आप now देखिए when we work on hypothesis testing, there is something called this also, है ना, the one-tailed, two-tailed test. And okay, now this is going to be the what we say the normal probability graph. Normal probability graph. Now this we'll discuss at a later point. Okay, let us see. देखिए descriptive statistics है ना, measures of central tendency, mean, median, standard deviation, measures of central tendency, measures of variability, measures of relative position, measures of relationship. I'm not going to discuss all this. Okay, so descriptive statistics we do. Descriptive statistics फिर हम inferential statistics भी करता है ना. We will have a sample, we will work on that sample data, फिर उसके I mean like by making use of the research data that we got on this sample, we will infer that the population is having so and so data, population is having so and so result. So with a sample data we infer a population. So such statistics we call inferential statistics. जो जितना भी हमारे जो statistics है which we are going to do, like देखिए inferential statistics, significance of difference between means, we are going to what we say compare the mean. Okay, t-test use करेंगे, फिर हम variance या variance, some people call it variance, some people call it variance. Okay, ANOVA use करेंगे, analysis of covariance, ANOVA correlation method, chi-square regression analysis, ये सभी हम करना होगा. ठीक है, we'll see. तो इसको हम inferential statistics बोलता है, inferential statistics. अभी देखिए I was saying, देखिए nominal, ये थोड़ा बहुत आपको अभी यूज कर सकता है. People use this no oil in reverse, kind of a small what we call word या sentence which we use to remember the levels of measure. जो हमारा पहला कैटेगरी है nominal, we categorize a group. Now male, female, this is very popular that way. Male, female, urban, rural, married, unmarried, married, unmarried, and all. It is second. Married, unmarried, and all. Okay. So that is simply naming a category, naming a variable, naming a variable into different groups, naming a variable into different groups. अभी देखिए उसको हम थोड़ा बहुत एक we are bringing that categories into some order, we are arranging them into some order. So that's what the nominal scale is, or ordinal scale. Okay, ordinal scale. Ordinal scale. Okay, ordinal scale. Now उसके बाद as I was saying interval, जैसे ordinal scale में क्या होता है, if you categorize like those working in a university or school or colleges, okay, assistant professor, associate professor, then professor. So we are ordering into a different categories. If that is the case, we call it as ordinal data. Again, there are low income, average income, high income. Again, some order based on the income that they get. Okay, so that is going to be the ordinal data. बाकी जितना भी है interval और ratio, I'm not going to discuss into I mean like into detail. Okay, अभी देखिए मैं आपसे ये पूछ रहा हूँ, देखिए just to get an idea of feel of what we देखिए male, female, gender is male, female, male, female. This is going to be the nominal data, है ना? Residence background, urban, rural, institution type, government aided, private. इसमें तो 3 ग्रुप हो गया, 3 ग्रुप, ओके? गवर्नमेंट एडेड, प्राइवेट एडेड, गवर्नमेंट, ओके? फिर हम किसी सैंपल का हमने हाइट ले लिया, तो पहला स्टूडेंट, पहला सैंपल का हाइट है ये, उसका जेंडर है, रेसिडेंस अर्बन है, इंस्टीट्यूशन टाइप गवर्नमेंट है, उसका हाइट है ये, वेट है ये, स्ट्रेस, दिस इज देयर स्ट्रेस, दिस इज द अचीवमेंट, दिस इज द इंटेलिजेंस स्कोर, दिस इज द प्री टेस्ट स्कोर, दिस इज द पोस्ट टेस्ट स्कोर, टेकिंग एग्जांपल फ्रॉम द डिसिप्लिन ऑफ एजुकेशन, ओके? अभी देखिए इसका क्या होगा, देखिए ना, दिस डाटा, जैसे हमने डाटा कलेक्ट किया, डाटा हमको मिला है, फर्स्ट डाटा का, फर्स्ट सैंपल का जेंडर का डाटा था मेल, ओके? मेल फीमेल, उसका इंस्टीट्यूशन टाइप द गवर्नमेंट एडेड या प्राइवेट, कोई भी होगा, ठीक है? तो ये सारा टेक्स्ट फॉर्म में है, दिस इज इन द फॉर्म ऑफ टेक्स्ट, ओके? वर्ड्स, सो वी कॉल इट एज क्वालिटेटिव डाटा। बाकी जितना भी वेरिएबल्स आप देख रहे हैं, जैसे हाइट, वेट, स्ट्रेस, अचीवमेंट, इंटेलिजेंस एंड ऑल, ये सारा नंबर फॉर्म में है, नंबर फॉर्म। तो इसमें क्वांटिटेटिव डाटा, वेरी सिंपल आइडिया, क्वांटिटेटिव डाटा, ठीक है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं। देखिए नाउ इसमें क्या कर सकता है, जैसे क्वालिटेटिव डाटा, दिस इज ए क्वालिटेटिव डाटा ना, क्वालिटेटिव डाटा, national education policy, somebody is researching on national education policy na? So he has taken the national education policy, some paragraph from the national education policy, ये जितना भी डाटा है सारा क्वालिटेटिव डाटा है, दे आर इन द फॉर्म ऑफ वर्ड्स, दे आर इन द फॉर्म ऑफ टेक्स्ट। तो इसमें हमको क्या स्टैटिस्टिक्स कर सकता है, जैसे एडिशन, सब्ट्रैक्शन, टी टेस्ट, अनोवा, रिग्रेशन, ये कुछ भी नहीं चलेगा क्योंकि दे आर नॉट इन नंबर फॉर्मेट, qualitative data, okay? They are in qualitative form, data, text form, so we will not do any research statistics on that. अभी दूसरा देखिए, this is an interview script, interviewer is asking some questions, the answers are given here. Again इसमें क्या कर सकते हैं, this is again qualitative data. What statistics can be done on this? Addition, subtraction, t-test, ANOVA, regression, ये भी टेक्स्ट डाटा है, इसमें भी हमको कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं। वैसे स्टैटिस्टिक्स, वी कैनॉट ऐड दिस रिस्पॉन्स विद दिस रिस्पॉन्स, वी कैनॉट सब्ट्रैक्ट वन रिस्पॉन्स फ्रॉम द अदर रिस्पॉन्स, नथिंग, वी कैनॉट डू टी टेस्ट एंड अनोवा, नथिंग विल वर्क, ओके? इसमें एक स्टैटी हमको कर सकता है, जैसे एक्टिव लर्निंग से, फॉर एग्जाम्पल ये कुछ एक्टिव लर्निंग का ऊपर है, ओके? एक्टिव लर्निंग कितना टाइम इट इज अपीयरिंग हियर, we will make coding, we will see how many times it is appearing, then we will convert that into percentage. So हो गया percentage frequency. So at the mostly in qualitative studies we make use of percentage frequency and graph statistics. This is the statistics which we do on the qualitative data, ठीक है friends? अभी देखिए, now how the parametric tests are coming into picture, how the parametric test, what statistics can be done on quantitative data, addition, subtraction, regression, which one, okay? Let us see. अभी देखिए 2-3 एग्जाम्पल्स मैं आपको दे दूंगे, जैसे जेंडर, हमारा पास कुछ डाटा है जेंडर, दिस इज टेक्स्ट डाटा, दिस इज कैटेगरिकल डाटा या नॉमिनल डाटा, है ना? वी विल कैटेगराइज इनटू मेल एंड फीमेल, ठीक है? वी आर टेकिंग दिस मेल एंड फीमेल ना, मेल एंड फीमेल विथ कुछ height of the male and female students, height of the male and female students, okay? Height of male and female students. तो हमारा पास 2 तरह का डाटा है, एक तो जेंडर है, दूसरा हाइट है, ओके? 2 वेरिएबल्स, one is gender, the other is height. One वेरिएबल है जेंडर, the other variable is height. तो इसमें क्या स्टैटिक करेंगे, ये स्टैटिक हम क्या बोलता है नॉर्मली, ओके? वी आर गोइंग टू व्हाट वी से, सी वेदर देयर इज एनी डिफरेंस इन द हाइट ऑफ मेल एंड फीमेल स्टूडेंट, वेदर देयर इज एनी डिफरेंस इन द हाइट ऑफ मेल एंड फीमेल स्टूडेंट्स। तो इसके लिए फिर हम क्या करेंगे, वी विल डू दिस पर्टिकुलर स्टैटिस्टिक्स व्हिच इज नोन टू बी द टी टेस्ट, ठीक है? हम देखते हैं कैसे टी टेस्ट, आज वी विल सी हाउ इट इज डन, टी टेस्ट, ओके? अभी देखिए हियर गवर्नमेंट एडेड, I cannot see this, देखिए वेरिएबल्स ये हो गया। अभी इसमें देखिए इंस्टीट्यूशन टाइप, इसमें कितने हैं, गवर्नमेंट, एडेड, प्राइवेट, देयर आर थ्री कैटेगरीज है ना, थ्री कैटेगरीज इंस्टीट्यूशन टाइप. We are going to see whether there is any difference in the intelligence score of government, aided and private teams, है ना, private school students, teachers, it can be anything. ठीक है, पहले हमने दो कैटेगरी देखा था, उसके लिए if you want to compare two groups हम करेंगे टी टेस्ट. When it crosses two group, if the group number is more than 2, then we will jump on to the another statistics which is very popular that way, ANOVA. Okay, when the group is more than 2, थोड़ा इसको deeply हम देखेंगे, ठीक है, ANOVA. So we are seeing there is any significant difference in this case, intelligence of students belonging to aided, private and government schools. तो हो गया ANOVA. Okay, ANOVA हो गया. अभी देखिए इसमें देखिए we have two variables, stress and intelligence. We are going to do one statistics called correlation. We are seeing whether there is any relation between stress and intelligence, In that case, see the data form changing. Okay, we are not making use of any text data, we are purely looking on the quantitative data. We are seeing stress and intelligence, how they are correlated. Okay, now we are also seeing, like, see, there is height and weight, whether we can predict the weight of the students looking at the height. If we have height of the students, whether we can get the weight of the student, in that case we are going to predict one variable from the other variable. In that case we will make use of this technique, regression. Okay, regression. देखिए एक बहुत पॉपुलर नॉन पैरामेट्रिक टेस्ट है which is the chi-square test. So chi-square test का देखिए डाटा कैसे चेंज हो रहे हैं. जैसे we have residence background, we have institution type. We are going to see whether there is any relation between residence type and institution type. Say for example, those who are living in urban areas, to which institution they are joining for their education. Those students who are living in rural area, which institution they prefer for taking their education. So this kind of association, this is also a relation. Okay, this is also a relation. The other word used for relation is association. Abhi dekhiye association. Can you find association between residence background and their institution type? In this case, we will make use of the non-parametric test chi-square. So this is how it is working. Okay, this is how all the statistics are coming. Now, dekhiye, we are going to again to SPSS. SPSS. ये सभी हमने किया है, ठीक है. देखिए when you are entering variables, आपको there is no space, you should not give space. That's what I was saying, that label, there is a label column, that is the place which you can use for having space sentences. Okay, space. Otherwise when you are writing the variable, आपको मैं अभी time दे दूंगा space. If you are putting space, this will not take, the SPSS will not take. You cannot begin with a special character, cannot begin with a number. Each variable must be unique. You have a variable like gender, you cannot have the same variable gender. Okay, if you want another variable, then you have to have another name. 16 characters or less. Okay, 16 characters or less. Okay, now देखिए, we are again jumping to the SPSS. I'll come back to this. First thing is like, we have this. Okay, we have this data set, gender, locale and intelligence. तो थोड़ा बहुत अभी SPSS का very basic things. Okay, very basic things, like देखिए, gender, locale and intelligence, we have this score. Okay, now आपको दो तीन tabs is very important. जैसे when you work on advanced statistics, on which we will not mostly use, okay, because that requires time, data. आप एक बार आपको भी ट्राई कर सकते हैं once you have little bit idea about the SPSS. देखिए, if you want to sort the cases, merge files, if you want to select some cases, if you want to split files, there are various options. Okay. This is another icon. Okay, compute variable. If you want to compute, make a new variable from a existing variable, this is the option which you can use. Okay, transform. Iska bhi use hai when you work on advanced statistics. You will come to know, you will make use of these two icons, tabs. Okay, otherwise this is the most used tab in SPSS. Okay, one thing about SPSS is this is very, I mean, like user friendly. Maybe those who are using for the first time, they will be finding little bit difficult. Otherwise, this is one of the most user friendly software. Okay, friends, very important word what I'm going to say. Okay, since it is very user friendly, there is all the possibility of making mistake. So you have collected data from 1,000 samples. You are using SPSS for your analysis. If you are not you don't have very much idea about the SPSS, you are going to make mistakes in your interpretations. Okay, so be very clear about the statistics first, then you go to use the SPSS. So that is very important. Since it is very user friendly, this is very popular that way tool. You have enough options, many options. Since it is user friendly, there is possibility of making mistakes. Okay, to get out of that, you have to have clear idea about the statistics which you are going to work. Like say for example, t-test, you are going to use a t-test. क्या होता है t-test? इसका क्या ideas है, how, when you will use t-test, बाकी इसका क्या assumptions है, ये आपको idea होना चाहिए. Then only you will use. Otherwise, you will simply do the SPSS. You will work on SPSS, but you will not get the result as, I mean, like you will get false results. Okay, and you are going to make mistakes when you are interpreting the results. Okay, so ये एक हमारा variable हो गया. Okay, I'm doing some preliminary statistics. Okay, देखिए, first one is like पहला हमारा I was saying something like frequency calculation है ना, frequency calculation. Okay, for a single variable. Okay. Okay, frequency calculation, very simple. Okay, I'll also give you time. Abhi dekhiye frequency, this is our file, untitled one. Okay, I'll take this. Okay, now sometimes in statistics we very simple statistics like gender itna hai hamara paas. Okay, 1111. From this you can count, this is only 33 data. Okay, 33 data. So it is very easy even otherwise without using statistics. कितना मेल्स है कितना फीमेल्स है, it is very easy for you to make out. Okay, you just take the count, then draw a graph. Okay, only few samples. Okay, when the samples go to thousands, 500, 700, it is going to be very difficult to count from this table. It is going to be very difficult. So one of the very simple statistics which we use is we will see how many males are there, how many females are there. Okay, so I'll use this analyze button to do the statistics. Okay, this is the button which we usually use for doing the entire statistics. So you can see all the statistics listed out here, but many may not be the way you will see. Just like two-way ANCOVA, you will not see two-way ANCOVA here. One-way ANCOVA, you will not see. See, one-way ANOVA you can see, but two-way ANCOVA, one-way ANCOVA, there are many types of what we say ANOVA, which you will not see. Okay. Similarly, regression, regression. Then chi-square test you will not see here. Chi-square test with the name. This is available somewhere else. But this is the icon. This is the tab which you will use. So I'm going to just check how many males and females are there in my data sample. Okay. I'll click on descriptive statistics. I was saying descriptive statistics. What we said, descriptive statistic, mean, median, and all. Okay, all those frequencies, etc. Okay, so we have frequencies here. Frequency, you can use any of these. Okay, whatever you are seeing, all these can be used, but we will not discuss the entire tabs which are available. Okay, you can work on that, absolutely no issue once you have a little bit idea. So I'm going to take this frequencies. मैंने एक click किया. Okay, this is how it is. Most of the statistics work. Okay, so you will get this kind of a dialog box. Some will be by default, SPSS will be selecting that, okay, this display frequency table. If you want, you can retain, otherwise you can just untick this, okay, untick this. Now you will get to two boxes here. We are looking for gender, and a gender. I want to see the frequency of the gender. I'll select this, I'll select this, okay, so that will come to this small box. If you want to deselect, select this again, click this arrow bar, it will go back to that. Otherwise, you can just simply drag and put it into this box. These are the two ways, okay. I'll just drag here and put it here, okay. I'll select, I'll put it here, okay. Now, friends, in most of the statistics, you will find these kinds of options. Many are used, many are not used, okay. I was saying you should have clear understanding about the statistics when you do t-test, ANOVA and all. Most of these kind of icons which you are seeing, they are used, okay. But we will not be working on all the statistics, but why? Because it requires time that way, okay. So see, maybe we'll see for the timing. I'll just click on statistics, okay. Quartile, percentage, standard deviation, mean, median, skewness, kurtosis, etc. See, male, female, male, female. They are male and female. You cannot find the mean of that. Mean is the total divided by the number of samples, okay. So male, female, that way it is a text data. We cannot see any mean, median, mode, and for standard deviation, variance we cannot see, okay. So I'll just close this. We will not take anything. Charts, let us see charts. See bar chart, pie chart, histogram. This is one place which you can use for making the chart, okay. So I'll just make use of maybe bar chart, yeah, pie chart, okay. How you want to use chart values, frequencies, yeah, percentage. I'll just select percentage. You can use frequencies also, no issue, okay. I'll continue. Format, we will not do anything, okay. By default, style, nothing, okay. We can do many statistics with that. Bootstrap, there are statistics which are known as bootstrapping, okay. We will not do anything for the time being, okay. So I just selected gender. Just in charts, I took only pie chart, okay. Change to percentage, otherwise we can retain this also. I'll click on continue, okay. I unselected this, I'll click on okay, okay. So you can see we have this data entered file, then there is something called output file also, output file. You can see the output here, okay. So we are getting frequencies, statistics. This is valid, 33 data we have. There is missing 0, all the data we have entered. If there is something missing, you will get here also, okay. There is something missing in the variable field also, which I have not discussed. But if you have some data missing, you can make out from here also, okay. Gender of the students of 10th class, male and female. Male is this much and female is this much, okay. Now many data are not that way shown here, okay. So if you want to get the details of this pie graph, pie chart, you have to double click this pie chart, okay. I'm going to double click this now. See, once you double click that, this will be activated. This window is for making changes, okay. You can have many options here. You can maybe try at a later point, okay. What all things you can, there are many things which you can work on this, okay. I'll just close that. Now we have this data, okay. Now if you want to delete this, you can just click this, just click, and maybe you can click the delete button in your keyboard, okay. So the data is gone, no issue. Now if you want to do the statistics again, you don't have to go to the data file again. You can click, this is the output data file, you can click again, analyze, click on descriptive statistics, frequencies. Now I'm deselecting this. I'm selecting locale. I'll bring here. I'll select a chart. This time I'll put the bar chart. I'll take frequencies, continue. I'll click on OK. Okay. Now you have this data file here. Okay, data file. Valid again based on locale. You can see locale. The valid number is 33. Missing is locale is this is the bar graph. Okay, this is the bar graph. Again, if you want to edit this, you have to double click this. The editing window will open. You can do the editing part looking at here. Okay, x-axis, y-axis, and all. Okay, you can have many options here. Okay, this is done. Okay, now I'm going to again do statistics. Now we have the intelligence score here. Intelligence, okay. For intelligence score, we can calculate the median, mean, standard deviation, etc. This is the normal, what we say, statistics we do. Okay, normal statistics. So I'll click on analyze. मैं इसको क्लिक करूंगा descriptive statistics. देखिए descriptives. Even otherwise, you can also make use of frequencies. कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. Frequency you can click, है ना? We have statistics here. You can select mean, median, mode, skewness, kurtosis, everything from here. Okay. There are many options. I'll just cancel this. I'll come to analyze. I'll click on descriptive statistics. I'll take descriptives here. Descriptives. Okay. So you can see a couple of options here. Earlier it was more. Okay. So I'm going to select intelligence. I'll bring it to this box. Okay. Options देखिए. Mean by default many things SPSS is selecting. Okay. Mean, standard deviation, variance, minimum, maximum, skewness, kurtosis. Okay. Skewness, kurtosis. है ना? Skewness, kurtosis. I'll click on continue. Style देखिए. This is used, but for the time being we are not working on Bootstrap. There are some statistics, okay, which we will not do right now. Okay, so you don't have to do anything there. Okay, just click on okay. So you will get the statistics like the key. Now just drag down descriptive intelligence. This was the variable 33 number statistic. The minimum value is 24. The maximum value is 68. The mean of this group is 49. Standard deviation is 7. Skewness value is 0.750. Kurtosis value is 4.90. 4.990. Okay, friends. हो गया? Analyze. I'll again do with the frequencies also. Frequency. I was making use of the other one. Okay, descriptive first. Okay, descriptive. है ना? Now I'll use frequencies. कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. Locale I'll remove. I'll select intelligence. Statistics देखिए. Quartile, percentage. I'll select this mean, median, skewness, kurtosis. You will get the same value. Minimum, maximum, standard deviation. Okay. 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 This is coming in separate form. This is the output of descriptives. Again, when we were making use of frequencies, this is how the value comes. They mean it is 49, mean is 49.58. Skewness is 0.750, skewness is 0.750, kurtosis is 4.990. Okay, minimum is 24. Here it is 24, maximum is 68, maximum is 68. So you can use that also. कोई दिक्कत नहीं. आप देखिए descriptive में explore. Here also you will get. Okay, here also you will get something. Okay, if it is available, options में देखिए इसमें नहीं है. Plots इसमें नहीं है. So we don't have to use that. Okay, now. So there are various places like see compare means. When you want to compare means, इसमें भी आपको option मिलेगा mean, median, सारा इसमें भी मिलेगा. So there are many places which you can use, but it is better to prefer analyze. Either you use frequencies, yeah, what we say the descriptives. Okay, now देखिए, I'm just coming to one of these statistics. Okay, I'll give you time. Okay, a little bit time so that you can experiment that. We were saying, देखिए, I want to do a t-test. Now there are various t-tests. Independent samples t-test, correlated t-test, paired samples t-test and all. अब मुझे एक ये दे दीजिए how you will write the objective for a t-test. How you will write the objective for a t-test. एक बार chat box में दे दीजिए मुझे. See, I'm giving an example. You are going to see the intelligence, difference of intelligence between male and female students. Okay, whether there is any difference in the intelligence scores of male and female students. इसका ऑब्जेक्टिव आप कैसे लिखोगे? एक बार चैट बॉक्स में आपको नोट कर सकते हैं. Please make use of your chat box. I am looking at the chat box. Okay. Yeah, I'll discuss this normality. एक बार देखिए अब एक बार आप chat box में please give. I mean like I want to see there is any difference in the intelligence score of male and female students. Please, everyone can try, okay, chat box. How you are going to write the objective. I want the objective, not the hypothesis. This is absolutely right. Yeah. Objective of that study. Yeah, Janita, thank you. Absolutely. Just don't take time, okay? How you are going to write the objective if you want to do the t-test? This is what my question, okay? How you are going to write to find the difference between intelligence towards gender? Again, yeah, to find out the level of it, to test the significance difference between, yeah, again, or kuch idea hai? To analyze, oh, very good. To find out there is any difference, yeah, or to determine, to compare, to determine the intelligence level based on, to compare the intelligence level, to know the significant difference between intelligence level. Thank you. Okay, most of them are not the way I was expecting. Okay, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, आपको इसको modify कर सकते हैं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, ठीक है? देखिए, now when there is a what we say comparison kind of thing, compare. See, say for example, जैसे हमारे जो कोई जो, there are two shops, okay, there are two shops which sells maybe chicken 65 or something like that, okay. What we usually do when we go to buy something, we used to compare the shop. We used to compare the shop. We used to compare the taste of chicken 65. We used to compare the taste of ice cream. So this is one word which we usually use, to compare. When there are two groups, we usually use this word compare. You compare the taste of ice creams from shop 1 and shop 2. You will see, you will compare the taste of chicken 65 from shop 1 and shop 2. Okay, you will compare the tomato of shop 1 and shop 2. Okay, so usually we use the word compare. Abhi dekhiye, this is how the objectives comes. This is how the objectives come. Dekhiye, this is why people usually struggle at, काफी सारा students, researchers, they find very difficult कौन सा statistics हमको use करना है हमारे जो research study. One problem is writing their objective. देखिए, if this is the case, if you have written the objective like this, okay, to compare the mean scores of intelligence of male and female students, to compare the mean scores, हम यूजुअली क्या करता है, मीन स्कोर कंपेयर करता है, मीन स्कोर, ओके, मीन स्कोर. तो कैसे लिखेंगे? यू विल राइट दिस लाइक टू कंपेयर द मीन स्कोर्स ऑफ, वो जो वेरिएबल आना है, हियर इट इज अचीवमेंट इन फिजिक्स, इफ इंटेलिजेंस इज द वेरिएबल, टू कंपेयर द मीन स्कोर्स ऑफ इंटेलिजेंस ऑफ मेल एंड फीमेल स्टूडेंट, टू कंपेयर द रीजनिंग स्किल ऑफ, टू कंपेयर द मीन स्कोर्स ऑफ रीजनिंग स्किल्स ऑफ rural and urban students. Okay, so this is how it is usually written. Okay, this is how. बाकी जो जितना भी आपने लिखा है, कभी कहीं उसका missing है, it's not complete. If you have written your objective this way, it is going to be very easy for you to make out. T-test is the statistics which you have to use here. T-test, to compare the mean scores of intelligence of male and female students. To compare. अभी इसका hypothesis क्या होगा? Hypothesis देखिए, there is no significant difference in the intelligence scores of, mean scores of intelligence of male and female students. There is no significant difference in the mean scores of, पहला वेरिएबल लिखना है, mean scores of intelligence of male and female students लिखना होगा, ठीक है? There is no significant, there exists no significant. That way also you can write, there exists no significant difference in the mean scores of intelligence of male and females. You should not write like there to compare, इधर भी वैसे नहीं लिखना है, to compare the male and female. Okay, to compare the male and, we cannot compare the gender. Okay, we cannot compare the male and female because they are already different, Male and female is that way psychologically, physically they're different. So we are not going to compare the male and female. Okay, so you should write to compare the variable, then the sample, categorical sample. Okay, ये हो गया, research objective हमारा हो गया, formulation hypothesis हो गया. Okay, now we are sure we are going to make use of t-test here, t-test. Now देखिए, when I apply for PhD admission in some universities, they ask for some qualification. They need to, the student need to fulfill some prerequisites. They should have some, what we say, some educational degree with them. When you apply for an LDC, clerical post or assistant professor post somewhere, they will also give you some prerequisites. The student, the applicant has to have some qualifications. Okay. The same way, when you are planning to use t-test, हमारा जो data को, the data needs to have some prerequisites. Data need to fulfill some conditions. The data needs to fulfill some conditions. उसको हम assumptions बोलता है, assumptions of t-test. ठीक है, assumptions of t-test. Now, this is the man who came out with the t-test. ना, उसका नाम था विलियम सीली गोसेट. Okay, विलियम सीली गोसेट. He was writing, doing statistics in a pseudo name. तो उसका second name था, एक secondary name था student. Okay, जैसा हमारा जो novelist होता है ना, उसका नाम अलग होगा. So that way, his name was a pseudo name. Your secondary name was a student. Okay. Okay, student. So that's why sometimes we call it as students t-test. Students t-test. काफी सारा है students t-test. Okay. Now the basic one is this one. Okay. So if you want to use t-test, आपको देखिए हमारे जो डाटा, पहले जो डाटा उसको नॉर्मलिटी होना चाहिए. It has to follow the normal curve. एक क्राइटेरिया. Okay. Normality for both group. आपको मेल फीमेल यू आर गोइंग टू कंपेयर, इंटेलिजेंस ऑफ मेल फीमेल दोनों ग्रुप का डाटा नॉर्मेलिटी फॉलो करना है. देयर इज समथिंग वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट विच इज कॉल्ड होमोजेनिटी ऑफ वेरिएंस, होमोजेनिटी ऑफ वेरिएंस, और वी कॉल इट एज इक्वालिटी ऑफ वेरिएंसेस. बोथ ग्रुप शुड हैव सेम डिफरेंसेस. ठीक है, वी विल सी. इसका टेस्टिंग करने का एक तरीका है. See, each group should have what we say equal variation. This is the simple idea. Okay, each group should have equal variance. Say for example, this is the male data, जो 111 male data है. इसमें क्या variance है? Female का data यही है, female data. इसमें variance कैसे है? How the values are varying. Basically, this is what we call the variance. Okay, so each, it is saying if you want to do t-test, each group should have equal variance. Each group should have equal variance. ठीक है, each group should have equal variance. Data should be on interval or ratio scale. ये हमने देखा interval or ratio scale. Outliers should not be there. Outliers should not be present. Outliers. Okay. High score, lower score नहीं होना चाहिए. जैसे एक देखिए ग्रुप 1 का डाटा ये 1 2 3 4 5 है ना. If there is a score like 35 in this data, 35, that is considered to be outlier. Okay, if you have a data here 21, this is another group 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. इसमें if you have a data which is 1, again that is going to be an outlier. तो नहीं होना चाहिए outlier. So before doing the t-test, देखिए, this we are not going to do tomorrow. Okay, when we do ANOVA rest of the statistics, we will not do in these statistics, but for each statistics you have to make sure that this is fulfilled, your data fulfills all these criteria. तो हम देखता हूं पहले. देखिए we are here. Okay, take a second. Can you explain again? कभी कभी आएगा. ठीक है, that will come again. Okay, don't worry. देखिए, we were here intelligence है ना. We are going to see if you want to do the t-test whether this score, the intelligence score, is fulfilling the conditions which I was saying, like normality, homogeneity of variance, then outliers, etc. ठीक है, तो इसके लिए हम क्या करेंगे? We will go to analyze. We will go to descriptive statistics. There is something called explore here. Explore. ठीक है, explore. I'll click on explore. ठीक है, I will select the intelligence. dependent variable. Dependent list means dependent variable. You can take that way also, but that changes that way. Okay, dependent list. Now I'll click on statistics. Descriptive, nothing descriptives. We will get mean, median, everything here. Confidence interval for mean 95%, 0.05 level of significance. Continue. We'll click on plot. देखिए, we will, there is stem and leaf. इसको आप untick करना. Normality plot with test ना, इसको continue करना. Normality plot. Options देखिए, options कुछ नहीं करना. Bootstrap कुछ नहीं करना. ठीक है, continue. तो आप कुछ नहीं करना. जैसे you will select the intelligence here. Statistics में descriptive already है ना. If you want outlays, you can select that, no issue. Plot, normality plot with the test. Continue. Options कुछ नहीं करना. So I'll just click on OK. Let us see how the results come. Okay. देखिए, देखिए friends, with every statistics you have to do this when you are doing ANOVA regression. उसमें और भी आता है. ठीक है, many other assumptions come. ठीक है, इसमें हम 2-3 points are very important. ठीक है, इससे हमको नॉर्मेलिटी चेक करता है. देखिए, टेस्ट ऑफ नॉर्मेलिटी. हम नॉर्मेलिटी कैसे चेक करेंगे? एक तो कोलमोग्रोव स्मिर्नोव टेस्ट है, दूसरा शापिरो-विल्क टेस्ट है. शापिरो-विल्क टेस्ट. ओके, the other one is QQ plot. This is another which we usually use for checking the normality. The third is this one, box plot. Box plot भी हम यूज करते हैं. ठीक है, अभी मैं आपको एक और स्लाइड आई विल शो यू. देखिए, देखिए काफी सारा ऑप्शंस है इसमें. देयर इज समबडी ड्राइंग ऑन द आई विल लाइक स्क्रीन. देखिए, आई एम जस्ट गिविंग एन आइडिया. few you can experiment. Okay, देखिए, this you can calculate using descriptive. How you will check your data is normal? एक तो using descriptive statistics. Okay, आप इसको calculate करना होगा. said skewness minus 0 divided by standard error. Okay, this value you will get. ना, standard error value you will get. ना, standard error. देखिए, standard error. स्क्यूनेस का स्टैंडर्ड एरर वैल्यू यही है 0.409. कर्टोसिस का स्टैंडर्ड एरर वैल्यू यही है. ठीक है, सो यू जस्ट मैन्युअली कैलकुलेट दैट वैल्यू एंड मेक ए इंटरप्रिटेशन. ओके, दिस इज वन वे ऑफ चेकिंग द नॉर्मेलिटी. ओके फ्रेंड्स, अदर वे इज कर्टोसिस वैल्यू भी आपको ले सकता है. वैल्यू एट द मोस्ट, इसका वैल्यू 1.96 से 1.96 से कम आना चाहिए. Okay, if that is the case, if you are getting the value 1.96 below that, आपका you can make sure that your data is normal. Okay, दूसरा ग्राफिकल मेथड है. हिस्टोग्राम आप देखिए, बॉक्स प्लॉट देखिए, QQ प्लॉट देखिए. ठीक है, this is another method, graphical method. Third method is significance test of normality. Significance test of normality, taking too much time. Okay, significance test of normality. अभी देखिए, ये सिग्निफिकेंस टेस्ट ऑफ नॉर्मेलिटी हम कैसे यूज करेंगे? इफ योर डाटा सैंपल इज लेस देन 50. आपको जैसे डाटा सैंपल लेस देन 50, व्हेन इट इज लेस देन 50 आपको शापिरो-विल्क टेस्ट यूज करना है. इफ इट इज मोर देन 50 आपको कोलमोग्रोव स्मिर्नोव टेस्ट यूज करना है. ठीक है, इफ इट इज लेस देन 50. तो हमारा देखिए, हमारा सैंपल वैसे भी 33 है. Our sample is less than 33. So we will interpret this table only. We will not use Kolmogorov, Smirnov. We will not use this, okay? Because our data sample is only 33. So we will use only this, okay? We will make an interpretation of this, okay? ये कैसे करेंगे इंटरप्रिटेशन? थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड होगा. फ्रेंड्स देखिए, सेकंड देखिए, QQ प्लॉट, क्वार्टाइल प्लॉट. ओके, this is little easy that way. देखिए, है ना, this is a line, the data points are on this line. If any data point is deviating from this line, which means that this is an outlier. this is an outlier, this is an outlier. So this means that this data is not that way very normal, क्योंकि आउटलायर है, दिस इज आउटलायर. ये आपको इजीली मिलेगा बॉक्स प्लॉट से. देखिए बॉक्स प्लॉट भी आपको वेरी इजीली, इसको बॉक्स विस्कर प्लॉट भी हमको बोल सकते हैं, है ना, बॉक्स विस्कर प्लॉट. दिस लाइन वी कॉल इट एज विस्कर, दिस लाइन इज विस्कर, है ना. जो दिस लाइन है ना, दिस लाइन इज द maximum value which is there in your intelligence score. This is the lowest value which you see in the intelligence score. ठीक है friends, smallest value. If this is normal, the length of this whisker should be same. If the data is normal, this length will be almost equal. But from this box plot, you cannot say that this is normal because these sizes are not equal. Okay, one way of making out interpreting the box plot. Again, this line should be in the middle. This is the median of this data, okay, median of the data. This should be in the middle. If it is in the middle, you can say that this is what we say, this is normal curve. This is normal curve. Okay, friends, normal curve. So I think maybe it requires again some time to discuss this Shapiro-Wilk, rest of the things. Okay, so for the time being, I'm just skipping that. You can just interpret by this graph. And if there is outlier, you can see this is outlier. We have 33 data. The 33rd data is an outlier. Similarly, the 32nd data is also outlier. The 32nd data that you can easily make out from this data table. देखिए, see ये पूरा data 46, 47, 57 सभी है, ठीक है. जो 32nd data 24 है, this is very low, and 33rd data is 68, which is very high. So in box plot, you will get the idea that they are outliers, and which is that data which is outlier. That number will be displayed here. 33 and 32, they are outliers. And if you have outliers, some people mostly you have to remove the outlier. Okay, you will ask whether then it is going to be valued. कोई दिक्कत नहीं, आपको remove कर सकता है. You can also do statistics by keeping the outlier also, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, but it's better to remove the outlier. Now देखिए, अभी एक क्वेश्चन है, क्या होगा if the data is not normal, क्या करेंगे SPSS, or what we will do. See, you can make this data a normal. Okay, कोई दिक्कत नहीं आपको. Some people may object that also that way. Okay, there is no problem if the data is normal. You can make it a normal data. आपको normal data बनाने के लिए you have to make use of this icon, transform. There are different kinds of transformations of data. Okay, some it is written here like different kinds of transformation of data, like logarithmic transformation. There are many. Okay, so that's why managing normality violation it is written. ठीक है. Now देखिए, अभी हो गया हमारा जो डाटा, ये one we have seen whether our data is normal or not. ठीक है, one data is normal or not. Now we will do the t-test. देखिए, I'll click on analyze. I'll come to compare means. I was saying, जैसा हमारा जो objective लिखता है ना, objective is like to compare the means of intelligence, to compare the means score. Mean score is important. So that's why you are seeing in SPSS analyze, compare means. So देखिए, there are different types of t-test. We are going to use this one, independent sample, male and female. They are independent of each other. Rural, urban, they are independent of each other. So for doing that statistics also, you can use independent samples t-test. So I'll just click on this. I'll click on this. So I'm going to take the intelligence variable here to test variable. We are comparing based on the gender. I'll take that to grouping variable. Okay, when you take that to grouping variable, some question mark comes. Okay, it is asking for defining the groups. We have given 1, 2 for our gender, 1, 2. If you have given 3, 4, then you have to use 3, 4. I'll show you that. Okay, define groups. हमारा ग्रुप 1 क्या था 1, we will give 1 because this is the number we have used for male. Group 2 2, okay. Otherwise group 1 you can give 2, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, group 1 आपको 1 दे सकता है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, you can do this 1 2 या 2. These are the values which we have given. You cannot give here 6 and 7, okay. This we have not given, this way we cannot define when we are doing statistics, t-test statistics. If you have given 6 for male, 7 for female, you have to use 6 and 7, okay. So once a value आपने दिया, that you have to use here. So I'll show you the difference how it is working. देखिए group 1 1 I will give, group 2 2 I will give, continue, है ना. तो क्वेश्चन मार्क चला गया. ऑप्शंस 95%, 0.05 level we have set, continue. Bootstrap, again I would say there are bootstrap tests which we will not do, वो कभी कभी यूज में आ जाता है, but for the time being we don't want that. I'll click on okay, है ना. देखिए फ्रेंड्स टी टेस्ट है ना, व्हेन यू आर डूइंग टी टेस्ट आपको इस तरह का 2 टेबल मिलेगा, है ना. जेंडर ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स ऑफ 10th क्लास, वी हैव गिवन दिस लेवल, दैट्स व्हाई इट इज अपीयरिंग. इंटेलिजेंस ऑफ मेल, इंटेलिजेंस ऑफ फीमेल. मेल का कितना नंबर था 21, फीमेल का कितना है 12. मेल का मीन क्या है 49, फीमेल का 50. स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन क्या है 4 and 10. स्टैंडर्ड एरर है, ठीक है. ओहो, somebody is writing on the screen. Please stop that. Somebody is writing on the screen.
I have cleared it, sir.
Okay, thank you. देखिए, so we will get this table, है ना. This is very easy that way. Mean, median, standard deviation. By default, SPSS is going to do that. अभी independent samples t-test का value इधर है, ठीक है. Independent samples t-test का value, okay. अभी देखिए इसका 2-3 points like equal variances assumed, equal variances not assumed. तो हमारे जो पहला क्राइटेरिया एक when you are doing t-test आपको फर्स्ट assumption है normal distribution, ये तो हमने चेक किया. Second assumption is homogeneity of variance or equality of variance, ये भी करना होगा. We have to see whether both groups have equal variance, whether each group have equal variance. तो ये चेक करने के लिए there is one statistician called Levens. He came out with the Levens test for equality of variances, okay. So when you are doing t-test, the SPSS will by default will do the Levens test for equality of variances. This is what you are seeing in the first column, Levens test of equality of variances, okay. Levens test, है ना, Levens test. अभी आपको ये वैल्यू मिलेगा, उसका F वैल्यू मिलेगा. You will make an interpretation based on this value, okay. Significance, whether this is significant or not, we will make a judgment interpretation based on this significance value. Now how that is done, ये भी मैं थोड़ा आपको बता देता हूँ, थोड़ा confusing होगा आप, है ना, पहले for hearing it for the first time. देखिए now Levens test, हमारा जो आइडिया है to find whether two groups have equal variance, okay, whether two groups have equal variance, है ना. So हम जैसे the way we used to do hypothesizing, we will form hypothesis like there exists, yeah, there is no significant difference. There is no significant difference in variance of two groups, है ना. There is no significant difference in the variance of two groups. ये हमने थोड़ा आपको I mean like it may take a little time to understand, okay. This is how we will formulate. There is no significant difference in the variance of two groups. So we will compare. अभी देखिए if P is less than 5, मैं पहले आपको दिखाया था P less than 0.05, that time we call it as significant. We will reject the null hypothesis, okay. If you are rejecting this null hypothesis, क्या result होगा, there exists difference in variance of, क्योंकि हमारा null hypothesis था there is no significant difference. We are rejecting that, then we will say there exists a difference in variance of two groups, okay. If P is greater than 0.05, this is not significant, we will not reject the null hypothesis. देखिए there is no significant difference in the variance. तो आपको ये idea लेना होगा. देखिए you have to see the p value of Levens test. If it is greater than 0.05, if it is greater than 0.05, we will retain the null hypothesis, which says there is no significant difference in the variance of the two groups, or the variance of the groups are equal. Homogeneity of variance. If the two groups are equal variance, how we will interpret that? आपको ये idea लेना होगा. You just remember this thing, okay? If this file also I will share with you. आपको इसको याद रखना होगा. देखिए, थोड़ा I'll make it little bold. If P is greater than 0.05, we will not reject the null hypothesis, which says there is no significant difference in the variance of the two groups. So we will see the Levens test. See, if it is greater than 0.05, I was saying if it is greater than 0.05, but this is less than 0.05, less than 0.05. So this means that the groups are not equal. The groups do not have equal variance. If the groups do not have equal variance, we will not do t-test. Friends, you cannot move forward with the t-test. Okay, you cannot move ahead with the t-test. So whatever you are seeing here, this is of no use, because your data is not fulfilling the assumptions of t-test. This is one very important point. पहले तो normality check करना होगा. Second, homogeneity variance check करना होगा. वो अपने आप, that will be default. When you are doing t-test, by default SPSS will do that Levens test. If it is greater than 0.05, you can do. Otherwise, you cannot do that. Okay. So there is no use in interpreting this, because this data is not fulfilling the assumptions of t-test. Okay. But for the timing, just to manage how, then what rest, how, I mean, like how you can move ahead. Okay, we will just, for the time being, we will interpret this. आप देखिए, आप t-test के साथ एक negative sign you will get, negative sign, है ना, negative sign. This will go when you interchange the groups. आप देखिए, पहले हम 1 2 किए थे. I'll select analyze, descriptive statistics, compare means, independent sample t-test. This I'll remove. Okay, I'll take again to grouping variable. Define group. देखिए, here I have given 1 and 2. This I'll just interchange it, 2 and 1. Continue. Okay. अभी देखिए, you will not get it. This was our previous t-test value, है ना? This was the t-test was having a negative sign. Negative sign है तो भी कोई दिक्कत नहीं, आपको use कर सकते हो. You don't have to write the negative sign. Okay. If you are interchanging the group, you will get a positive sign. Okay. Rest of the values remains same. Rest of the values remain same. तो देखिए t value हमारा 0.04 है, 0.04 है ना. Degrees of freedom है हमारे जो 33 the value, total number of students 33. DF calculate करने का एक तरीका है, which discuss now. अभी significance value, this is what we call the p value, which I was discussing in the beginning. P value, this is the probability value. Okay. Mean difference, standard error, level confidence interval difference. Okay, ये सारा हमको चाहिए. Okay, now अभी देखिए, you have this value with you. Now how you will interpret, how you will take a decision on whether you will reject your hypothesis or whether you will not reject your hypothesis. इसको तीन तरीका है. There are 3 ways of doing that. 3 ways of doing that. आप देखिए, one way is एक मिनट. वन वे देखिए, एक तो क्रिटिकल वैल्यू अप्रोच है, क्रिटिकल वैल्यू अप्रोच. दूसरा प्रोबेबिलिटी अप्रोच है, प्रोबेबिलिटी. थर्ड कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल इंटरवल लेवल अप्रोच. ये तीनों आपको उसमें मिलेगा. क्रिटिकल वैल्यू इज द टी वैल्यू दैट यू हैव गॉट. ओके, क्रिटिकल वैल्यू ये देखिए, दिस इज द टी वैल्यू विच यू हैव रिसीव्ड. टी वैल्यू 0.405. This you will compare with a t table. You have a T table with you. You have a T table in every statistics book. T value. T table. This is the T value table. Okay. T value. This is the T table. Okay. You will see where this point lies, where this value lies. Okay. Otherwise, you will make use of the second technique, probability value. Probability P value, which is in SPSS called significance level. You will see whether it is falling below 0.05 or above 0.05. Third is confidence interval level approach. Okay. Confidence interval level approach. Confidence interval level approach. है ना? Wait a second. Now, confidence interval level approach. देखिए, if lower and upper limit does not contain 0, then null hypothesis is rejected. थोड़ा आप इसका idea ले लेना. I mean, like if where we will get this value, if the lower and upper limit does not contain 0, then null hypothesis will be rejected. Okay. देखिए, ये कहाँ से मिलेगा आपको value? इधर से मिलेगा. Lower and upper value. Lower and upper value. इसमें देखना आप इसमें 0 included है नहीं है. If 0 is there, the null hypothesis is rejected. Okay. I'm not going to confuse. Only one thing we will. I was just giving an idea that this is how it is interpreted. Okay. So you can make use of any technique. For the time being, I'll just stick to significance probability approach. Make a significance value. This is 0.68. 0.68. Now we will see whether it is less than or greater than the value, less than or greater than the value which I was showing you in the beginning. Now this value. If P value is less than significance level, P value is less than significance level, हमारा value the 0.68. Now 0.68. So P value is 0.68, which is not less than 0.05. Okay, so we will not consider this. देखिए हमारा 0.68 था. This was the second 0.68. Our P value was 0.68. This is greater than 0.05. So what we will do? We will not reject the null hypothesis, which was saying there is no significant difference in the intelligence score of male and female students. So we will not reject this. So that is going to be the interpretation. Okay, friends. Now, देखिए आपको एक और idea मिलेगा. Equal variances assumed, equal variances not assumed. ना equal variances. We will take only the first row. Now, sometimes we also do t-test even if equal variances are not assumed. वो statistics का कुछ तरीका है वैसे, ठीक है? You can do. There is nothing wrong in that. If equal variance, जैसा हमारे इधर equal variances नहीं था, okay, in that case we have to look for this value, the lower value. But in many statistics we won't take this. Okay, just to get rid of the situation, we will not use this. But statistician says you can also use this value even if equal variances are not assumed. See, when the data is not normal, as I was saying, when the data is not normal, we have techniques to make it normal data. We can do that. Statisticians do that. Okay, just like if somebody is having an operation, if his blood pressure, sugar level, everything is not up to the mark, or if it is not allowing to do the operation, the doctors will not do the operation. They will wait, or they will give you some medicine to, I mean, like correct it. Okay, this is just like that. Okay, if the data is not normal, we will make it normal, then we will do the statistics. In that case, the degrees of freedom will change. Degrees of freedom will change. आप देखिए इसमें degrees of freedom बहुत सारा changes हुआ है. पहले degrees of freedom 31 था. If you are using this equal variances not assumed, degrees of freedom has come down to 13.213. So it has come down drastically. So the statistics have some, I mean, like techniques to do that. In that case, we can use this value also. So friends, for the time being, you don't have to worry. You don't have to go to that extent. Once you're very much experienced, you can make use of this row. Otherwise, you should take equal variances assumed. Okay, equal variances assumed. Now अभी देखिए एक और पॉइंट में डिस्कस करके आई जस्ट स्टॉप हियर. अभी देखिए हमारे जो स्टैटिस्टिक्स हमने कर दिया ना, स्टैटिस्टिक्स कर दिया. नाउ रिजल्ट एंड इंटरप्रिटेशन इसको कैसे लिखेंगे? के देयर इज एन एपीए फॉर्मेटिंग एंड फॉलो दैट. ओके, अभी देखिए द फर्स्ट ऑब्जेक्टिव वाज टू कंपेयर द मेन स्कोर्स ऑफ अचीवमेंट इन फिजिक्स ऑफ मेल एंड फीमेल स्टूडेंट्स. द मेन स्कोर्स ऑफ इंटेलिजेंस इन दिस केस, mean scores of intelligence in of male and female students. Okay, the data were analyzed with the help of t-test or independent samples t-test, and the results are given in table 1. Okay, table 1 कैसे लिखेंगे? table 1 gender wise n mean, standard deviation and t values of intelligence of male and female students. Gender male and female, n m standard deviation, t value. If it is significant put a star mark, p value remark में आपको p less than 0.05 लिख सकता है. Okay, now from table 1 it can be seen that the t value is, हमारे जो t value होगा है ना, t value, this is the t value. T value we have to write t value is this, t value is this, which is significant at 0.05 level of significance with the degrees of freedom 31. This shows that intelligence of male and female students differ significantly. Thus, the null hypothesis that there is no significant difference in the mean scores of achievement in physics of male and female students is rejected. Further, the mean scores of achievement in physics of male students is, आपको mean लेना होगा इसमें से mean. You will get the mean here. Okay, mean is this, and female students mean is this. Higher than that of students whose mean score is. Therefore, it can be said that male students were found to have significantly higher intelligence in physics compared to female students. This is written when it is significant. Okay, if it is not significant, this is, you have to just do some modification. Like from table it can be, हमारे जो not significant था, from table it can be seen that t value is this, which is not significant. This shows that achievement in physics of male and female students do not differ significantly. Thus, the null hypothesis that there is no significance in difference in the mean scores of intelligence of male and female students is not rejected. Further, the mean score of achievement of male students is significantly higher than that of female students. Therefore, it can be said that male and female students were not found to have achievement in physics. Okay, अभी देखिए, see what is the idea? See देखिए, mean 50-49, this is different. Okay, when you do the statistics आपको difference मिलेगा, but this is because of chance or because of any other things, whether this is true or whether this is because of chance. To make an interpretation of this difference, we do the statistics, we do the t-test. Okay, and we are getting this is not significantly not, this is not significant that way. Okay, there is no difference. But if you see the numbers, you can see difference. Numbers you can see difference. 58 to 58 to 49. Okay, but in our statistics we are getting a result that this is not, there is no significant difference in the mean values. I will repeat that. If you look at the mean values, you can see significant difference, but the statistics says there is no significant difference. Okay, how we will make that interpretation? By looking at the t value, significance value, or the lower upper confidence. So friends, I know this is going to be a little tough for the, I mean, like those are the first, those are listening the first SPSS class. Okay, काफी सारा points में भी वैसे exclude किया, because again that will give you more confusion. Okay, so I'll just sum up this. हम क्या देखा था आज SPSS में कैसे हम data entry करता है. Okay, the basics in the sense where it is available, how we will get the software. फिर हम data variable view देखा. Variable is this view where we enter the values. फिर data entry करने का view है, I mean like place है where we enter the data. Okay, this is one way of entering the data. Otherwise, by clicking file clicking the open data. You select the Excel file from your place, then you can open that. This is other way of importing data to this one. Okay. 2-3 icons, data transform. This we usually use when we do higher statistics. Okay, analyze is the tab which we usually use for doing the basic statistics and advanced statistics also. Okay, so we have used a couple of tabs like descriptive statistics. एक frequency हमने use किया था just to see how many number of respondents are there in categorical variables. Descriptive हमने use किया है to see mean, median, mode, etc. Okay, to see the normality of data, we have used this icon, this tab explore. Okay, after that we have used this tab again, the compare means tab, to do the independent samples t-test, one of the basic t-test. Okay, one of the basic t-test. This way I was telling you this, you have to little bit be, I mean, like you have to take care of this. You can use the values that you have given to define your groups. फिर इसमें आप देखकर जो भी आपको चाहिए वो करना, बस otherwise okay दे देना, ठीक है. Now once you get the output, आपको descriptive statistics मिलेगा. You will get two result, equal variance is not assumed. For the time being, I would request you to stick on to equal variances assumed. But if you want to stick that, you have to look for the Levens test for equality of variance, how it is interpreted. If it is greater than 0.05, it is going to be, there is no difference in the variance. It is, the value has to be greater than 0.05, then it is going to be, there is no difference in the variance of the groups. This is not equal variance group because the value is not greater than 0.05. In that case, we will not do the statistics, but by default SPSS has done the statistics, and we have just used for the time being to make you understand the t-statistics. Otherwise, this you cannot perform because this data is not fulfilling the assumptions. Even equality also we have done. There also it was not a normal data, so we cannot do the t-test with this. Okay, so but for the time being we have analyzed with this data. Just come to this data and we will see this data also. Okay, analyze, compare means independent samples t-test. Okay, I'll select management into grouping variable, intelligence, teaching competency to test variable, options, nothing. Bootstrap, again we don't have to do anything. Management we have to define one, I think it is 1 and 2 only I have given. Continue. Okay, we'll come to the output page. This is the t value. अभी देखिए इसमें you will get some kind of a difference. Okay, difference. Levens test is also your not significant that way. This is significant. Okay, I mean, like the variance is not, variance assumption is violated here also, variance, so we cannot do that. But see here, this is less than 0.05, which means that this is significant, the result is significant. In that case, we will reject the null hypothesis, which says there is significant difference in the what is called the teaching competency of management of students from private and I don't know कौन सा group किया है, private and government group. There is teaching competency, there is difference in the teaching competency score of private and government school students. जो भी है जो लिखा है वो आएगा. Now we'll stop with this. Okay, thank you. तो थोड़ा काफी, I mean, like as I said, for the beginner it is going to be little tough that way. Okay, but you can work on. There are various YouTube videos also you will get. I'll just stop this sharing.
Hello.
Just a second.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes. Thank you, sir. Now, dear participants, the floor is open for the questions. If you all have any queries, you all can ask. We have given the access to unmute yourself.
Good evening, sir. Hello.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have one doubt regarding how to input our data, like variables like name, gender, age, locality, or type of institution like that. Could you repeat this process? Just a minute.
Yeah. देखिए, this is the SPSS file. Okay, this is the SPSS file.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, sir.
Variable.
It's true.
Variable. I'll just select this and then
Yes, sir.
clear this. Okay, this is the variable. This is the place where you have to enter data. Like gender, you will select here. Gender. Click. Okay. Type of institution.
Yes, sir.
Type of oh, you cannot give space here. Type of institution. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Type of
Then designation,
designation.
maybe.
Designation. Okay. So
Then we put our question. Then we put our questions like all the statements step by step, or dimension wise we can go.
Dimension wise. Dimension. You don't have to enter the entire what we say this statement. Like आपने मैंने आपको दिखा दिया जैसे एक आपका Likert scale है. Okay, Likert scale. Likert scale का first
Yes, sir.
question. Okay, Q1. You can enter here Q1. Q2.
Okay, sir.
Q2. Q3. तो जो आपका जितना भी क्वेश्चन होगा सारा इधर एंटर होगा. ठीक है. You have up
Okay,
to.
sir. तो हम लोगों को dimension wise जाना चाहिए.
Dimension आप dimension भी दे दीजिए. I mean, like if you want dimension, you can just delete this. Delete this.
Okay, sir.
Clear. You enter. This is the first dimension. Dimension 1. Dimension 1. Okay. Dimension.
So
2.
we have to put the dimension 1's total score or dimension 2's total score, ना?
Absolutely. Absolutely. मैं आपको ये भी दिखा देता हूँ. हमारे जो ये था ना एक डाटा फाइल. Gender management, local occupation. This is the Likert scale option. Okay, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. जैसे बच्चों ने उसको response भी दिया है. Just first respond and first sample उसको उसका subject यही था, occupation यही था. Q1 के लिए वो agree दिया था, उसका score 5 होगा. Question 2 को उन्होंने partially agree किया होगा, उसके लिए 4 दिया होगा. Q3, Q4 इसका सारा responses इधर है. Okay, so up to Q8 this is the questions belonging to this dimension, the knowledge, first dimension.
Knowledge
okay?
dimension. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Total,
Then we put the total score.
yes.
Okay, okay, sir.
Q9, Q10, Q10 ये सारा second dimension performance है, उसका जितना भी score है total इधर आ गया. So you keep
Okay,
on
sir.
adding. जैसे इसमें around 48 questions था, उसका total score है, teaching competencies का score है ये, ठीक है, Likert scale का, उसका total
Okay,
score
sir.
है ये.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. This is the total score. Can we go to the data variable, sir, for this file?
Yes. Data variable. ये तो data variable ही था. This is
No, variable. Sorry, variable. Sorry, sir. Yes.
This is the variable view.
Okay, sir.
Can you make out something? जैसे knowledge वाला scale variable है, scale variable. बाकी ये सारा scale variable है. By default it is so nominal. ये सारा आपको scale करना होगा. I have not done that.
अच्छा. Yes.
क्योंकि Q1 सभी quantitative data है, numeric values है, उसका scale data ये है, ठीक है?
Okay, sir. Then how we save this file after doing the statistics? How we save the file?
Yeah, this once you close this file now, if you are trying to close the it will ask you save changes to the data set. Yes. So save करने का option आएगा research. Okay. इसको file name दे दीजिए आप.
I will go.
File 1. Okay. Variable save है ना, save इधर save है, save. सेव हो गया, अभी आपको इसको क्लोज कर सकते हैं. डू यू वांट टू प्रोसीड? यस. सेव द, ये तो आउटपुट सेव करने के लिए पूछ रहे हैं. यस, इसको भी हम कहीं डेस्कटॉप में कहीं सेव करेंगे. आउटपुट 1. नो.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Yes,
See
yes,
the
yes.
file.
It's showing.
Yeah, the data file I was saving, it is in some other place. Okay, this is the output file. When you save the SPSS, the data file saves in some other name. I mean, like the extension is something else. The output file extension is something else. You have to save it separately. Okay, you have to save it separately.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, I hope you have.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, any more queries?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Sir, I have a doubt. How can we determine which type of t-test that we have to use in our study? You had told about one sample test, independent sample t-test, and paired sample t-test.
Yes.
How can we determine or the use of those 3 t-tests, sir?
Yeah. Let me share this. My screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Visible.
Each t-test, it takes some 2-3 hours. That is the independent samples t-test. This is one. Now correlated samples t-test. इसको हम paired samples t-test भी बोलते हैं. This is also called paired samples t-test. Paired sample हम कैसे use करते हैं? जैसे when you are doing any experimental studies, when you select the samples male, yeah, from any class you will select from 8th class you will select a couple of students. Okay, don't worry about the gender. Now you will do an experiment on the 8th class students. You will collect the data before doing the experiment. You will have one data before the experiment. Now you will do some experiment. You will teach them through some technical, or you will use some tool to collect the data. After doing the experiment, you will collect the data from the same students. It was 8th class students. You collect the pre-test data, you do the experiment, collect the post-test data. So you are collecting the data from the same students. So in that case, they are called paired samples. Okay, this is not male and female. Male and female bhi ho sakta hai. You do experiment on male students only, get the pre-test data of male students, do the experiment on the male students only, collect the post-test data from the same male students. In that case, they are called paired samples t-test. Paired samples t-test. Okay, paired samples t-test. So in that case, we will make use of what we say the paired samples test. Paired samples test. This is usually used when we are doing experimental studies, when you want to compare the same samples, when you want to see the mean scores of same samples, maybe like before and after teaching through multimedia package. Now, after teaching through multimedia package, same samples. So this is the situation that we use what we call the paired samples t-test. So इसमें आपको मिलेगा paired samples t-test. And just to show you, like cancel, I'll select this data, open. Open. You see the data is available or not. Excel, we will make it Excel. Practice data set. Open. Just it is coming. Okay, and see experimental sample. Okay. Okay. अभी देखिए है ना, group 1 pre pre-test knowledge pre-test जो knowledge एक dimension है उसका pre-test किए थे उसका post-test का score भी है इधर post-test knowledge okay similarly
Okay.
understanding का pre-test है understanding का post-test knowledge है this is the group so if that is the case we will use what we call the paired samples t-test paired samples t-test वेरिएबल 1 देखिए प्री टेस्ट इसमें ले लेंगे वेरिएबल पोस्ट टेस्ट इसमें ले लेंगे
Okay.
ओके
Okay, sir.
फिर आपको इसको थोड़ा और फिर जैसे see there are the NCERT and the rest of the many universities many organization conduct large scale surveys okay तो एक बार सर्वे किया जैसे इसका 10th स्टैंडर्ड स्टूडेंट्स का मैथमेटिक्स अचीवमेंट्स का मीन स्कोर आ गया 30 very slow like very low you know the mathematics achievement score by taking a bigger number of population uska 30 sample aa gaya 30 number aa gaya score the mean score of the achievement in mathematics is 30 now you are doing the same experiment and you want to compare whether there is any difference in the score of the score of NCERT NCERT score and your score. In that case, you will do what we call the one sample t-test. जैसे आपने okay
Yes, sir. Yes.
आपका achievement score दा यही था ना for the time in achievement score. अभी आपका test value NCERT का test value था 30 ना so in that case you will make use of one sample t-test. काफी सारा इसमें कुछ एडवांस्ड टी टेस्ट भी है उसको हम बूटस्ट्रैप बोलता है इसमें काफी सारे ऑप्शंस है ओके अदरवाइज दिस इज द सिंबल ओके दिस इज गोइंग टू बी योर अचीवमेंट दिस इज NCERT's achievement you are going to compare whether there is any difference between your score and NCERT score in that case we will make use of one sample t test okay otherwise this is in experimental studies
Okay. Sir, independent sample, we will use the independent samples if you are using the data from two different groups, right?
Absolutely. Yes, two different groups.
Okay.
Like
One
male
more
and female.
Okay, sir.
Like male and female. देखिए, one second. This I introduce ना. Analyze. इसमें काफी सारे groups है ना. Oh, this is male and female है इसमें.
Yeah.
Male and female. Otherwise, you can have the like, you know, if you have variable like locale, the करता है male, rural, urban, subject, marital status, marital, female, sorry, married, unmarried. Okay. When there are two groups, independent groups, वो independent होना चाहिए. That is the only criteria. One should not be related to other. जैसे male and female, they are independent of each other. उसका characteristics, everything is different. ना? जो rural students, urban students का characteristics भी अलग होगा. So that way you should have two independent samples. और कुछ है?
Sir, can you please explain the use of chi-square test too, sir?
Chi-square we will see tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Any more queries?
काफी सारा control group and experimental group. Yes, control group and experimental group. That is the paired samples t-test. When you have control group and experimental group, sorry, that is also, I mean, like independent samples, na? Control group and experimental group. They are independent samples. Thus, if you want to compare pre-test scores between male and female independent sample test, yes, sir, we can recording. So please take a practical session about correlation regression. That will be more. Yeah, we will see ANOVA, correlation, regression, and chi-square. Okay. But it is going to be tough because there are many, you know, what we say, statistics associated in SPSS, and it requires time to explain all these. Otherwise, we will see tomorrow. No. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so as we come to the end of a very informative session on data analysis, on the behalf of organizing committee and the participants of FEP, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Ajith Kumar sir for taking time out of your busy schedule. So your presentation was very insightful, very engaging, and your expertise in the field of data analysis and your in-depth knowledge of SPSS software has immensely benefited us. So the practical examples helped us to understand the concepts better. So once again, I would like to thank you for your contribution to the FEP, and we look forward to learning more from you in future. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam.
And
See,
yeah, thank
only
you, sir.
only one thing. I mean, like it requires time. Okay, many participants might have not understood some of the topics which we have discussed today.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
like t-test we used to take in a single session, only t-test.
yeah,
So you can understand the volume
yeah.
depth of each of
Yes,
topics.
yes,
Okay, I used
yes,
to give time also, and I was saying in the beginning I will give you time, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Okay. We'll see. Thank you,
yes,
madam.
yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, and now I would like to thank all those who have made this session possible here. So once again, thank you all for being part of a wonderful session. Thank you all.
Okay.
Thank you, madam.
DS, please, I'll be sending the recorded video uploaded in the YouTube. So you please now make use of the video while you try. Okay, try the SPSS on the statistical analysis what sir discussed today. So if any queries are there, you can clarify with sir tomorrow. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
So